Yes, Sirski. What's shaking out there in them digital streets? This your player partner Watt, and this is an episode of the Dropbox. Let's get into it. Yo, what the shake is out there, man? We locked in for another one. I want to go ahead and get into it. Before I do, remember like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, so let's get it. I seen some stuff online this past week. It's videos been out a couple of days, but it's something that I really want to talk about or just really get into. Um, so I'm online, right? And I'm just searching on the internet, and I see this video of this a YouTuber named Sa Ra Garvey. He's a Jamaican. I think he's in London. Not exactly sure. But he posted a video in response to Tariq Nasheed. If a lot of you don't know, Tariq is raising funds for the Hidden History Museum. I'm excited to be a contributor in that project. I put something on it, and I'm probably gonna put something on it again before the week over with. I think we got like 4 days left. So, everybody that hear this, if you ain't putting nothing on it, go ahead and put something on it. If you have, donate again. Let's try to make a push, man, and let's try to reach this goal as a group. But back to the video. So I come across this video, and this guy, he is doing a response video to the video that Tariq Nasheed put up in regards to a video Tariq saw about Sa Ra. And a lot of the things that he was saying in the response video, it just seemed like he doubled down on some of the talking points that he initially had. And that's what I want to get into. I want to kind of break that down and talk about it. So I'm going to play some clips from the video, and I'm going to just give my analysis throughout. So this is the first clip.
Recent years, I've been watching the African American community, right? And the African American community seem to be going through an identity crisis. That's just my own personal view. So what I've watched is African Americans say that they're African American. Then I've heard them say that they're American. They're not African. I heard them say that they're black. And then came in, they said they're not black, they're Moors. Then they said they're not Moors. Then they said they are Aboriginal.
Yep.
Then they said they're not Aboriginal, that they are ADOS. And
Right.
then they went from ADOS, which is American Descendants of Slaves, to FBA, which is Foundational Black Americans. So to me, right, watching that from over here, seems like there's an identity crisis with a lot of black people in America.
Right.
It's not.
Currently, the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, is being led by a guy called Tariq Nasheed.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to continue. Right, so he says he's not leading the Foundational Black Americans. However, most of the rhetoric from Foundational Black Americans is coming from Tariq Nasheed, from as far as I can see. Now, Foundational Black Americans may be a group of people. However, the main voice, Tariq, is yours. You know that, and most of the people that call themselves Foundational Black Americans know that. You say it's a lineage. I want to kind of touch on that for a second. You say it's a lineage, and lineages are found in DNA. And as far as I know, you can't find Foundational Black American anywhere in anyone's DNA. So I want to understand your thinking and your reasoning behind that for a sec. Let's continue on.
All right, so in regards to his first point about black Americans having identity issues, how people identify just on the surface of name, it has a lot less impact than the actual experience that people share. So the black people from the United States of America, whatever name they want to use, if they just want to be black or FBA or ADOS or descendants of American slavery, it doesn't matter what they go by because they all share in the same experience. Now, to his second point, when he speaks on lineage, if you look at the world as a whole and you do a lineage search on any particular person from anywhere in the world, it usually comes back they're of mixed They're of mixed ethnicities. When people speak in the present day context of lineage, they're speaking more so on lineage in regards to an actual culture and an identity of people. And that's why the African people of the United States of America, they identify with a foundational black or a native black, or, and like I say, these terms are interchangeable, but they all stem from the same definition of the shared experience of people from this particular place, because things happen here specific to those people that didn't happen to anyone anywhere else. He brings up the point to say Tariq is the leader of the this lineage or group. That's very far from the truth. It's just false. Tariq has went on record many a time saying that he's not a leader of any of this. It's just it's a group led movement. It's a people led movement, and he's just a voice amongst the people. He's not the voice, he's just a voice. Like I have a voice right now, and there's many other people on these social media platforms and advocates out here that also have a voice. So there is no leader. But let's keep going and getting into this interview a little bit more. So let's do that.
Okay. This word coon is thrown around a lot, all right? I'm trying to understand, okay, by whose yardstick is someone a coon? Because someone could say that you were being a coon by setting division between groups of black people when we have a shared experience. Now, I'm sure you have your own yardstick for what a coon is, so I'm going to listen a little bit more. But I just think it's quite interesting because I've been called a coon before. But I'm just wondering what the yardstick for a coon is, and if, you know, if there's some certain criterias that you've got to that you've got to adhere to become a coon.
So yeah, at this point in the response video, he's questioning what is a coon. He even proposes the idea that Tariq is a coon for promoting division. But saying that black Americans have an identity crisis is also divisive. You know, it doesn't promote unity. A lot of the statements that this particular individual has made has been divisive, you know, and that's what a coon is. And Tariq isn't being a coon in this moment by calling out people from certain sets of society that have this agenda of being divisive or undermining races or groups of people. If you really pay attention to people like this, they're pariahs in their own society. Like, you never actually see Jamaicans from Jamaica talking crazy, because at some point in time the Jamaicans gonna check you, or some point in time like the Nigerians are gonna check you. Because one thing I understand about just disrespect and divisiveness, people instinctively know if you're going to do it to another race of people, you'll do it to your own people. So there isn't a place for you. That's why when you see a lot of these immigrant coons, they're scattered across the globe. They're really isolated. But yeah, let's get into this. I want to play one more clip from this guy, and then I'm gonna give my analysis, and it dovetails into something else I want to say. But this nigga is irritating as fuck. I'm like, Tariq, hand me the knife. Let me play this.
I don't know that experience, Tariq. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that experience. Like I said, I'm doing this video because I'm just trying to address some things. You're black, I'm black. Fine if you say, okay, you're from the UK and you're Jamaican, you don't want to rock with me. That's absolutely fine. I don't beg anyone's friendship. But it seems like you're in a perpetual state of attack, and sometimes when you're in a perpetual state of attack, you don't see who your allies are, because you see everyone as an enemy. And it seems the way you're speaking right now is that you see every other person who is not a foundational black American as your enemy. That's down to you. If you're in a perpetual state of, everyone's against me and I'm the victim, so be it. That's down to you as a human being. I can't tell you what to think or what to do. But yeah, it must be a very anxiety-ridden place that you live in, to tell the truth, to see everyone as your enemy. I would say this. I have heard foundational Black Americans, I've heard you specifically, actually, talk about America being a white supremacist nation. It's no secret that America was built on white supremacy. The laws were made by white supremacists. White supremacists killed the Indians. They built laws and statutes and government based around white supremacy. I agree. However, what is very interesting to me is this. Foundational Black Americans, I've seen them ask for reparations. And last time I checked, the total amount for reparations was in the trillions or multi-billions. So I'm trying to understand, from a purely logical and objective basis, if you think America is a white supremacist nation and it doesn't treat Black people the way it should treat Black people, what obligation would a white supremacist nation who doesn't like Black people have to give you billions or trillions of dollars? Doesn't make sense to me. Sounds like exercise in futility, asking for reparations. I get why you're asking for it. I've said on many occasions, I believe Black people in America are owed reparations. But my thing is, are you going to get it? Are you going to ask for something from a people that don't give a fuck about you? And if you do keep asking for something from a people that don't give a fuck about you, seems like you are going to look like the idiot at the end of the day. We live in an unfortunate time where I don't think anyone's going to get reparations. That's just my own personal view. Like I said, do I think that Black people deserve it? Yes, I do. But I don't think they're going to get it, because I don't think that America is invested in crippling its economy for Black people. I don't. I just really don't. I don't think America is going to give Black people billions and billions or trillions of dollars and cripple their economy out of the goodness of their heart to something that happened how many years ago. We've heard the rhetoric from many people saying, it was so long ago, we can't calculate how much reparations is, I don't see why you would still be asking for reparations. Though, like I said, you do deserve it. But it's like asking somebody who is immoral to all of a sudden be moral. What obligation do they have to be moral? None. But we'll continue.
Yeah, so this is the final point, and this is probably the most interesting of his comments. But it just shows the divisiveness of this particular individual. I would never speak on somebody else's money or what they're owed or what they should, or just in general. It's a situation where it's like, okay, if someone owes you something and I support you, then I support you. Then it's just like, however you go about getting it, whether you get it or not, it has nothing to do with me. Yeah, and this guy's comment, it also brings up an interesting point of something that I heard this week. Yvette Cornell did she had a conversation with Mark Lamont Hill, and he brought up some of the same or similar points, and I just want to express that, look, if it has nothing to do with you, if you support, then support, but don't be for people, and then when it actually comes time to put the work in or support and get things done, then you're running the other way. If you just don't support it, then just don't speak on it. Y'all can go to his channel and look at that video. I'm not gonna put no clips of that shit up here, cause niggas said, yeah, they try to hit you with them strikes, man. But I just wanted to kind of talk about this particular video and some of the other stuff that was going on in just the news cycle today. So, what say you, man? Leave the comments in the comment section below, and like I say, like, share, and subscribe. And this has been an episode of the Drop Box. And on that note, I'm out the box with it. Do you hear me?